standard user, and it allows you to edit controls. You can manage pages, page layout. You can add pages and whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and add a page, and let's say that you have a dental technology course that or program that you want to add a page for. So notice it pops up on the menu bar here. If I can type, finally get it. I'll click this green check bar. Now it's added dental tech to the menu bar that the users see up here. So we can go to this new page by clicking on that, and we've got the standard boilerplate page that was originally set up for NTER, which has the NTER skin, and it's got the maintenance warning up at the top, which is these little gizmos that plug in are called portlets. This is considered a portal system, and you can plug various things into the screen, and I'll show you how to do that right now. First off, we can go into our control panel here. Actually, let me go over. I can manage this page. If I click that, it comes up with information about your page. In this case, it's called Dental Tech. You can put various items in here that you want. You can make it hidden if you don't want it to show up on the menu bar. You can do search engine optimization. You can change your look and feel. So let's click on look and feel. Okay, if I do that, it shows me that it's using the same theme as the public pages, and this is for regular browsers. So let me click over to this, and I can define a specific theme, and I'll have to, let me drag this down a little bit so we can see it there. It shows available themes that are installed, and I'll go ahead and click the LifeRay Classic. And for those of you that do know HTML or have people that around that can do HTML for you, you can insert cascading style sheet info for this page if you like. Now I'll go back up and do save, and we get a green bar up the top that says that was successful, so I can close that. And now notice that our skin changed to the standard LifeRay skin. So it looks a little different. Now the other thing that we can do, if I go back to, I can click on page layout. This brings up a menu that shows various forms of your page. You can have a free form page, multiple columns, 2x2. There's a whole series that you can select from. And what these are is how your page is divided up, and you can drag and drop stuff in each of these blocks. So this is the whole portal concept, is your page is a portal, and you have these gizmos called portlets that you could drop into each of these blocks on the page. So let's pick one. This 1-2 column is kind of a common one. It gives you your menu. You can put a menu bar at the top and a menu over the side, and your main content in there. So I'll select that one, and now our page is laid out that way. Okay, it says that was successful. I can get rid of that. So now under Add, there's this Edit Controls button. You can turn that on so that you can see what's going on. If you can do the most commonly used ones are up here: Web Content Display, Asset Publisher, and I will get into that a little more, but I'm going to go ahead and click More and show these are all the portlets that are available for you that you can use. And this is a little plus sign. You can click. If you want to put a blog on this page, you just grab blog and drag it over, and you can see how that blue bar, that one goes the full width of the page. This one down here is that block on the right-hand side. So let's say we want to put a blog in that block. Well, now you've got a blog page that you can subscribe to, do an RSS feed, add a blog entry. Your users can. So that's all you have to do to add a blog to your page. If I want to add a calendar, let's say I want to add a calendar above my blog, I'll click there, and it'll stick a calendar of events into the page, and the blog entries down below that. One of the things that you can do, notice these are kind of piled one right on top of each other. You can click. Each one has a little toolbar here you can click. So I can go in and change the look and feel, and I can do margins, and I'll get rid of that same for all, because if I do that, it'll put the same margin all the way around, top, bottom, left, and right. So if I save that, that should give me a, and it says that worked. And now notice it pushed my blog down, and I've got 20 spaces there, 20 pixel space, so you can separate out these things as you drag and drop them in. And that's all you have to do to add all of these things. You can go through on your own and look at these. There's bookmarks, invitations. Content management is the big one that most of you will want to do. So let me open content management, and the big one is web content display, and that I'll drag it over here and put in, and that's what we saw on these other pages. And notice this one doesn't have an editor. That's because, well, we haven't put anything in here yet. So you have this one with a plus sign on it, and this one will let you add content that pre-exists, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Okay, so let's add some content to our dental page here. One thing that's a little annoying about Liferay is you have to put this title in. I'll just call it Dental Tech. Excuse my spelling if I mess anything up here. If you forget to put that in, you can go do all of this work down here, and then when you click Publish, it'll come back and say, oh, you didn't do a title, and it wipes out what was in there, which is really annoying. So you definitely need to remember to put that title in there. But now let's say we're going to do our Dental Tech page, and we'll make that 36 points. We'll center it. We can make it bold if we want. Any just standard editing sort of stuff. But now let's say I want to insert a picture or something to do with dental technology, and maybe I want to left justify that. Well, these tools down here. This is link. This is a picture. So if I want an image, I can click on an image here, and it brings up this little tool that you can use to insert images. Well, I can click Browse Server, and it will show me folders that are already on the server. Now, if your server is new and doesn't have any folders, down at the bottom you can click Create New Folder, and you can create a new folder to store your pictures in. Well, I created a test one somewhere in here. Yeah, test images. I did that earlier today and just stuck it in there. Well, I don't have any dental technology images in here, so let me down here at the bottom I can click Browse, and here's some dental pictures, dental health. Yeah, we'll just use this dental health picture. So I can stick that in, and it will upload that to, now I've got this one called Dental Health Small JPEG. So I can select that picture, and notice it just stuck it right into this preview, and it shows me that it's a 250 by 250 pixel picture. You can scroll around if you need to see the whole thing. This text that they put in, you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't get copied in. That's just something they put in there as a placeholder, just to give you an idea of the scale of the picture. If you want to change the size of that, if you want it to be 100 by 100, you can type in. You can just change these numbers, and it will change automatically. The alternative text is if for some reason someone's browser can't show pictures like in the old days, it'll just show that whatever text you want to put in there. You really don't have to worry about that. But these days, everybody's browser can show pictures. So then I just click OK, and it's installed my picture in there now. So if I click Publish, and give it a second, it updates. So I've got my Dental Tech page here with my calendar, my blog there below. Now let's go see what it looks like for a regular user. And this is not laid out by any stretch. Very professionally, but now if I update this for the regular user, now Dental Tech has been added. Okay, so now we have our dental tech page, we've got our calendar here, and we've got our blogs, and the user can click on blogs and start doing this. There's no events on this day. You can click various events and edit this. So this gives you all kinds of neat little tools that you can use. Well, right now everyone can see this. Let me switch back over to my browser that's got my admin permission so I can modify all of this stuff. If I decide, I don't want to blog on this page, all you do is click the X, you can get rid of it, and it says you really want to do that, and I can do the same with my calendar if I don't need a calendar on this particular page. But what I might want to do is put a video in. Okay, let me do a cancel on there. I think I accidentally deleted my picture here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me stick my. Well, let's do this. Let's say that instead of a picture, I want to do a video. So I can do a dental tech video. And maybe just say click here so the user knows to do that. And if I want to link this to a YouTube video, all I do is highlight that and click on this. It's a little bit hard to see, but that's like a chain link. That tells you that's a link. And it says, okay, what do you want? And I'm like, okay, let me go to YouTube and find my video that I want. And if you have your own YouTube page, you can just go to that. So let's say we want to do a day in the life of a dental laboratory technician. So I can click on that. It's going to start playing here, and I'll stop that. And I just copy this link from YouTube, go back to my NTERLearning page there, and just paste that link in. Now, the target is where do you want this to play. If you don't set anything, it'll take the whole screen over and do that. But let's say I want this to play as a pop-up window. So I can select pop-up window in there. Generally, it's a good idea to make it resizable and give it scroll bars so your user, if they've got a smaller screen or a bigger screen than you, they can do that. And you can put the basic width. I want to say 650 by 500 is usually a good size for YouTube stuff. If you don't put anything in for this left and top position, it puts it at the far top left corner of the screen. But if I say I want to put it over 500 and down 200 pixels, that's a little bit more towards the center of the screen. So now I have this in. Let me publish that. And it's not publishing. Hopefully no one is working on this server. Well, maybe they did. But let's go back to or switch to our other screen, and I'll play one that I already had set up here. This is what it looks like for a regular user on this test screen. Okay, so we had a test screen there, and this was on a page that I set up that the theme was food technology, balanced diet. So if I click this, my YouTube screen pops up, and this was a video from Harvard. And I'll stop that, and you can see that this is separate from your browser. You can move it around anywhere on your screen, and then you can get rid of it, and you've still got your other screen in the background. So that's just a sort of very quick. Let me switch back to my editor over here and see if I can get it to cooperate now. Let's see, get this to reload. There we go. Well, it's still not cooperating for some reason. Being our test server, some of the other folks might be working on it. But anyway, in general, you can embed pretty much any type of content. Like I say, you can copy your Word documents, you can copy and paste stuff. You don't have to have any programming knowledge to do any of this stuff. But if you do have someone that has that kind of knowledge, or you want to do it yourself, let me see if I can open this screen and get it to cooperate here. There we go. This is back to our balanced diet screen. You can click on source and tell your HTML person, hey, go to town on this and make it look really good. You know, and so anybody that does know HTML, you can go in and insert HTML code in there that does above and beyond what this little editor does. But this gives you all the basic stuff. You can do searches and change your text color, your bullet list, and enter code. You can enter videos. And you can enter graphics, and you can keep your whole graphics library. This shows just a bullet list and our video. Once you've set something up, say your video screen is a little bit too small, you want to change the size of it, you can just double-click on that link, and it brings that editor back up, and you can go in and you can change the position or the size or whatever you want to do with your video information. Let me go back. I'll cancel out of this and not change this page. But one of the big things that's really useful for this is if you make these pages, if you leave the ownership alone, by default, it's open to everyone. When we created the page, one of the things that it does is, let me add a new page, and I'll demonstrate this, and I'll do this. We'll call it just test 2 and add this test page, and I'll click on that to move over to test 2. One of the options that you have up here is configuration, and you can click on that, and it gives you a list of all of the types of people that can log into your server. And these are called roles. So you have the author, guest is just anyone. They don't have to log in. Site member is the one that you typically want to use. You can create multiple sites. So you can have a site for food science and a site for dental technology. And then on your in your user page here, you can go in. I'm going to get rid of this. But you can manage the page. Or, whoops, I meant to do sites, not page. You can manage a site settings, and you can change the membership type from open to restricted to private. If you make it private, then you can go in and let me be sure I'm on the right page here so I don't mess anything up. All right. Site settings. If you make it private, then you can later go in and manage your site membership. You can click on that, and it brings up this list of, in our case, it's huge. It's 7,300 and some odd users that have signed up for NTER nationwide that say, I just want to do folks from InterHost here, and you can just type in whatever, and it'll do a search. And remember, everybody logs in with their email address. So we've got Rick Fincher and Michael Steele from InterHost here. So I can add site roles. I can remove them. These are members of this site already. So you can go in if you want to with your site and click Add Members. And if you want to add a user, here again, it just shows you a list. I'll do InterHost here again just to cut that list down a little bit. And Rick Fincher and Mike Steele are already assigned to that site. But all you have to do is click the checkbox and click Save. If I want to remove Michael from this site, I don't want him to be in the dental tech site anymore. I just uncheck and click Save, and then he no longer has access to that site. And when you set the permissions for these things, let's add a a web content display. So we've got our web content title. I'll just make content, and I'll just put something in here, content, and I'll publish that. Now I can go back to options here and do configuration, and you can click on the permissions block up here, and this shows you all the various types of roles for users and who you want to be able to view this, who you want to be able to add to the page and change configuration. Typically view is what you want. So if you have view for site members, and of course the owner, whoever created the page, has that. If I don't want just anybody that hasn't logged in, I can just turn view off for guests. So then I can save that. So now that makes this page where only site members can see it. They also have this concept of groups. So you have, instead of adding users to it, I can add a group to it, and that way you can create groups of, say, dental hygiene educators. And instead of having to go for each page for your dental hygiene information and add each person separately, you can create this one group, and then when you create a new page, and you can just say add the dental hygiene group to it, and it'll add everybody that's already in that group with one fell swoop, and you don't have to do the whole thing on a person-by-person basis, which gets to be really tedious if you have large groups of people that are using that. Okay, well, we're kind of running short of time here, so that's just a very quick and dirty intro to the things that you can do. Let me go through the list here again. I want to click More and show you all of the various types of things that you can do. The community one is interesting. You can do directories, invitations, page flags. Page flags are, inappropriate content, that sort of thing. You can add that to your page so that if people see some inappropriate content, they can report that to you. Content management is the big one that we were messing with before. You can add knowledge bases. You can add knowledge base articles, media galleries of groups of pictures that people can scroll through. You can put a list of recent downloads so that people can see what's popular. Site maps. Most of what you're going to add is going to be the web content display. Now, one interesting thing that you can do is, let me go ahead and do a web content here, and I'm going to drag it over to the left side. And let me update this and close that list. So now I've got this web content in this block that we left over on the left-hand side. Nothing's been added to it yet. What we were doing before was clicking the Add Web Content, but you can also do Select Web Content. So what this does is gives you a list of all the web content blocks that are available. It's like here's the one for Balanced Diet that we created. And you can just choose that. It's not going to be very appropriate for here, but I'll go ahead and select Balanced Diet for this, and down at the bottom click Save, and it will stick that Balanced Diet block in. Once you get this successful, and close this, and so it's stuck this Balanced Diet into this page. And here again, we can drag this around if you well, it's not going to give us the option to drag it in this particular page, but you can drag it to the various different blocks on your page. So, well, that was already our Balanced Diet page, so we don't need a second one, so I'll delete that. But the real power of this is that you can create like a menu to go over on this side. And then instead of having to redo that menu for each additional page, all you do is select web content rather than add web content, go in and find the menu that you created. In this case, there's a FAQ, About Enter, Home Page tabs. There's all sorts of little widgets that have been created here. But once you created your menu that has links, you can just paste that in. So let's go ahead and, in the few minutes we got left, I'll create a menu here that will go to our various different pages. So I want to add some content. and I'll just call it menu, and I'll do a link. Let's do a link to our welcome. Highlight it, click link, and it prompts me for the URL, and don't know what that is, so I'll have to go find it. But let's see if I can paste that in. That's our YouTube video there. So you just have to give it the URL for that particular page. Let me go ahead and do publish, and I'm going to go over to the welcome page. And if you want to find the URL, it's just right up here at the top of the menu bar. And this is pretty simple. Most of these in the menu bar, they just have the name that's right in there. So let me go back to my test 2 page. This is our web content display. Actually, that was on test. And I want to add this. Let's see, we'll add our menu again and do welcome now that I have the URL. And you can also open up a new tab and browse around so that you can leave this tab alone. You can have multiple tabs open into your page. Create the link, paste that in, and publish that. And there's our link to the welcome page. So you click that, and it moves to your welcome page. So you can create a whole menu of links. And now if I want to add this menu to this dental tech page, all I have to do is click down to content management, web content display, and drag it over to the left-hand side there, close that, select. Hopefully it'll be at the top of the list since we just created it. And up there's menu. I created 2. Let's see if this is the right one. And we'll do add or save. And looks like that was successful, so we'll close that. And now we have our welcome menu there. Well, let's see. Let's go to the second menu. I think it was the second one there. Oh, and there's a search tab up at the top. As you start adding these, you can get a pretty large list of these. Get rid of that. Okay, now we've got our welcome menu there. So now it's on our dental tech page. So the point being is that you can make these blocks and then copy them into as many pages as you want and as many places as you want. You don't have to do that work over and over again. Okay, like I said, this was just a very quick and dirty intro into what you can do, but you can see that this is actually pretty powerful. You can later on you can learn how to go in and you can give ownership of these pages to different people, different organizations within your institution, so they can go in and update their pages on their own. You can give them permission to change all of this info so they can get info out to their people. They can have their own forums. They can have their own blogs. Anybody that's used WordPress, it's very similar to the sort of WordPress type setup. The thing that's different about this is that LifeRay is based in the Java programming language. WordPress uses PHP. That's the major difference in the two. But one of the nice things is with this is you can custom write these portlets. What we've been doing here is just web content, but you can actually have programming content that you can drag and drop so that if you have people that are capable of programming, you want to hire somebody to write a custom portlet for you. The nice thing about it is the portlets are very simple programs. You don't have to worry about logins. You don't have to worry about the pages. You don't have to worry about all of that. The programmer that you're getting to do this for you, that LifeRay does a lot of that work for you already. So your users can log in, and the programmer doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't have to worry so much about menus. You just tell him, okay, I want you to write me a program that goes in this block over on this right-hand side of the page that saves this information in a database or does whatever you want it to do. And it's a fairly simple program that they can write. The library folks have a development environment for programmers that's based on the Eclipse system, if any of you are familiar with that. I'm getting into a little bit of programmerese here, but it's fairly straightforward to write these things. And you can take the ones that already exist and modify them too, so that you can say, well, I like their forum, but I want to change something about it. So you can have a programmer go in and take their existing forum code. This is all open source. And they have a way of writing what they call hooks. So you can just take the one page of code that you want to change, and you just change that one page, and it will incorporate it into the new portlet, and then you just drag it and drop it onto the page. Well, we're about out of time, so I thought I'd give it a few minutes for anybody that wants to ask questions. If you have any questions, just go ahead and chime in, and I'll do my best to answer them in the time that we have left. Okay. Well, if there are no questions or anything, hope this has been a little bit informative. Just trying to let you know that there are a lot of things that your portal server can do for you, other than just show your students where to find your courses on your LMS and that sort of thing. And you can give your users a lot of capabilities. The one thing that you do have to take into consideration is that the more stuff you add to your portal server, the more memory it's going to take and disk space and all of that. So you have to be sure and plan for that so that you have enough resources to be able to run this stuff. This is pretty lightweight. As long as you don't embed the videos, you can embed the YouTube videos right into your page if you want. There are some portlets that allow you to do that. But as long as you're not uploading a lot of videos that are running actually on the server, this typically doesn't do that, but you just give it pointers over to YouTube or whatever you like to use to present your videos. It doesn't take a huge amount of memory, but if you do have more people logging in, like your staff for your various departments at your school or whatever, it is going to put more of a load on your server. So you just have to take that into consideration in your planning for setting your server up. Okay, any questions? Okay, a few text messages coming in. Okay, thank you very much. And if nobody has any other questions, have a good day. I recorded the last part of this when we got into that. I'm going to stop recording.